can't give, information about your specific situation, Dwayne.
Right.
I have to give information, broad topics like mindfulness when you're eating, or boredom eating, or stressing, something like that. And so she and I worked out, what she was going to talk about, and that was the birth of mental fitness in E2M, man. And so shout outs to Dr. Reese, sis. I appreciate you. I always give her props because she helped me get that started. But what it uncovered for me, which led to us having 4 mental fitness coaches. Dr. Reese's got a great business. She's doing her own thing now. But since then, we've gotten 4 mental fitness coaches because during that time of having Dr. Reese do mental fitness coaching, I saw the need
Absolutely
for the mental fitness coaching aspect to E2M. So we started with 1, saw the need, and we have 4. Kind of funny, but the same, we started with 1 coach, me.
Yep.
Most folks say, I'm tired of seeing this dude. So I brought on more people, and that's the evolution of the business. And so we started out with 1 superstar, which led for us to have 4, which again, pay homage and due respect to that. But yeah, that's how we got started with mental fitness. It's a major component to E2M that a lot of people don't use, and that's why we're here today.
Absolutely. And so, I mean, you talked about the need presenting itself. What are some of the things that you notice that, you kind of touched on it, but what are some of the topics that you noticed that needed to be hit, or, we need to focus on more, things like that?
I'm excited to talk
I
about
see
this,
you
bro.
smiling big over there. Come on now.
Hey, man, listen, man. A lot of people don't understand that, if you don't fix the root problem, you're just putting a Band-Aid on it. And once that Band-Aid gets wet, once it so this is going to be y'all know I'm an analogy guy.
Be real,
right?
Son.
If I put a Band-Aid on my wound and I go take a shower, that Band-Aid is going to wash off. If I go rub it against a wall, that Band-Aid can rub off, and that wound is exposed again. A lot of people put temporary Band-Aids on really deep wounds. And then they find coping mechanisms like this group where they can hop on and give a sob story. And I don't mean no harm. I'm just being real. And they can get the feel goods of, man, I'm just down and out. I can't get nothing right. I can't do nothing that I keep failing. I keep falling. And we're all about encouragement in here. Don't get me wrong. But they don't want to address those deep wounds that cause them to constantly fail when it comes to their health and wellness journey. And so with the mental fitness coaches in here, a lot of people have a stigma about mental health coaching,
right?
About mental health therapy, or going to a therapist. I spent 21 years in the military, and do you know, your boy needed counseling for a long time. I'm thankful that I have, found my own coping mechanisms, and I probably still need counseling, but I definitely understand now, especially being out of the military, how big of a stigma is placed on counseling. And people just need to understand that if you don't fix those wounds, if you don't stitch them up, you don't heal them, you're just going to continue to put temporary Band-Aids on those wounds. And that temporary Band-Aid could be food. That temporary Band-Aid could be binge watching shows while you eat snacks. And the weight gain and the poor health is a symptom of that wound. But if you go to counseling and you work through it with a counselor, you could actually heal that wound.
Now it's really good. You got excited about that.
No, man, because listen, we got some good people in this group,
Absolutely.
Right? And they have big hearts.
Yep.
So if I was to come on right now and say, man, trying to keep this business going is so stressful. Man, every day I'm biting my nails. I'm up all night worried about how I'm gonna keep E2M going. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. And that's the end of the post. What do you think will happen? All these people will rush to that post. No, coach, we got you. You got you. We got you, coach. You got it. But is that helping me am I solving my problem? I'm not. Nope. I'm taking a bunch of good feedback, which is great. But at some point, you got to take that support and turn it into action.
Absolutely.
I got to have a plan to keep this thing going. There's got to be a plan. I can
Right.
sit here all day and talk about stress and talk about anxiety, but I still have to have a tangible plan, action to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Getting support, getting people to be there for me and cheer for me is one thing. But if I don't want to take action, it's not doing anything for
Right.
me.
Right.
Because all I'm going to do is, great, you made me feel good for a few days. I didn't change a doggone thing.
Right.
And a few days later, what's going to happen?
Right back.
Another post. Oh, I'm so stressed. I'm saying not to poke at anybody, but guys, the reason why I'm on today is because y'all know I'm passionate about this stuff. One thing you can say about, you cannot say about me is that I'm not passionate about what I do. I just, it breaks my heart when I see that, because I'm like, if you put the period after the stress, man, I'm gonna give you a prime example.
Do it.
I lost my job today, Dwayne. I don't know how I'm gonna provide for my family.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we're gonna eat. I don't know how I'm gonna take care of my kids. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Period. If I put the period right there, all these wonderful, kind-hearted people will be like, "Oh no, it's gonna be okay, Jeff. You got this. You can find a new job. You a good guy, man. You can do all kind." Probably get 1,000 comments in 10 minutes.
For sure.
But there's supposed to be something after that period, an action step. What is my action step? And I told y'all, I'm fine with leaving any kind of heartfelt post up in the group if there's an action step.
Yep.
If I put that period after my vent, there's no action step. So the action step that will come after that last situation, I lost my job. I'm worried about how I'm going to pay for my kids and daycare and all that. But while I'm looking for new jobs, thanks to E2M, I'm able to still get my workout in. I'm able to still focus on my health. I didn't put my health to the side while I'm under this amount of stress.
Yeah.
So keep me accountable as I try to stay on my fitness journey while I'm looking for a new job.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to tell y'all, in that one scenario, right? If we have so many people in E2M that have companies, if I was to see somebody in the group that was like, man, I just took a major blow. I lost my job. My company did layoffs, but I'm resilient. I'm not going to lay down. I'm not just going to stress out. I'm going to stay focused on my health while I look for a new job. I might look at that person and say, oh man, that could be somebody I need on my team. I might PM that person, DM them and say, hey, what field were you working in? You got a resume? If I can't use you, I may shop you around to a friend. I know this part is not easy, guys, but I'm trying to help you figure out that the action step has to come. And if you need counseling to get to that action step, at some point you got to realize, I just stop at the stress, or I just stop at the problem. I have no action step. So if you have no action step, you have to work with a counselor to help you develop that action step. If you don't have an action step yourself, you have to. And that's where counseling comes in. E2M mental fitness coaches give you different appetizers.
Yep.
To help you see how your relationship with food is tied to mental health and your mental fitness. But that's just the appetizer to help you go find the main course and the dessert with the actual one-on-one counselor.
No, absolutely. Going back to the post thing, another thing you can't do is make the rant this big and then
solution.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Listen,
man.
and we're laughing not at anybody.
No, not at all.
But remember, we do this all day.
Yep.
So we remove more posts than y'all could ever think of.
Yep.
So on a daily basis, when you got tens of thousands of people making posts, I mean, I could wake up on the wrong side of the bed and decide that I want to tell you about the cat and the dog and the rat and the hat and everything in between. And at the bottom, but I still did my workout.
It happens.
So the post doesn't get pulled. But that's not motivational, guys. That's not motivational. If you were to read that from somebody else, if all you find in that post is sympathy, that's not motivation. And if you're looking for sympathy, I understand we're an accountability, rah-rah motivation group. But if you're looking for just sympathy, that might be something for the normal Facebook, not necessarily for E2M. Because if it's not motivational and you wouldn't see it as motivational, maybe this ain't the best place for it.
Absolutely.
Not to say you don't need support, not to say your accountability partners can't give you support, not to say you don't need a loving hug or a cheerful message. But this ain't E2M sympathy group. This E2M motivation group.
Right.
Motivation to take action, to take action to solve the health problem, to solve the problems in your life, not just to get sympathy with no action.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I want to, I mean, we have the mental health coaches, and they're diverse. I mean, they all have different backgrounds and things like that. And because a lot of people that might watch this might be on the outside looking in. What was kind of your mindset on selecting those ladies to be our mental health coaches?
Man, listen. So again, we only had one to begin with. We had Dr. Reese, so there wasn't no option. And so Dr. Reese's business took off, man. Again, that's what we want to see. I tell people miss, and this is a good time to talk about
it.
People forget this. In college sports, even if that athlete is the best person to ever play for that college, at some point they're going to go off and do better things. They're going to go off and be a professional athlete and go make big money and do their thing. You want to see them progress. You want to see them grow. And so I would love to keep people stifled down, but that ain't how I work.
Right.
I want them to grow. There's so many people in E2M that have become personal trainers.
Yep.
So many members that have gotten their personal training certification. I'm like, go forth, go get your clients, go make your money. And so for me, it came a time when Dr. Reese she got her doctorate and she was gaining steam and her business was growing, and she decided to go focus on her business. And that's what we want.
Yeah.
That's what we want. So when Dr. Reese left, we had the opportunity to look for a new backfill. I saw how big the support was for mental fitness. So I saw how big the need was to have the right people come in following her. So we started out looking for one person. And I was like, if we find one person, then that one person will constantly be getting compared to Dr. Reese.
That's true.
So I was like, that wouldn't be fair to that person.
Right.
And so I was like, okay. What if we brought two people? I was like, okay. So then we said, let's see how many applicants we get, and we'll determine from there. We got a lot. A lot of people came out and interviewed for the role. I think we had over 20. I think it was 20 people interviewed for the role. And from those 20, we got down to like a final 5. One of the top 5, because of her medical licenses and that kind of stuff, decided that she didn't want to have to mess with her insurance to be able to do it for this type of group and all that. And so, she still contributes to the program. But we took the rest of that top 5 and we brought them on. So we brought on 4. And so with that, we gave a diversity of thought. 4 different people with different backgrounds. 2 of them are doctorates in psychology, and then the other 2 have high levels of counseling. One is actually a dentist by doctorate trade, and the other is just a super well-diverse. I believe she is I don't want to mess this up, man. I'm on the spot. But she's got a lot of experience with counseling, social work. And so we found people that had lots of experience, wealth of background to fill that gap. Because again, it was a big gap because I didn't know how much that mental fitness aspect was going to take off, man. And so having the need and the right person shows how big of a gap, can be found if that person is taken out.
Right.
And so, we put 4 people in to fill that gap, to give people variety. If you try Kimber and you may not like her style, you like her style. You try Natanya, you like her style, I may not like her style. You try Dr. Carolyn, you like her style. You try Dr. Rebecca. You can try all 4 of them and find which style works best for you.
Yep.
And my goal, and this and this goes to any of the five of them, Dr. Reese or our current four. If you understand with the appetizer that you need one-on-one, that's five different counselors that you already know. Now, I don't know what states they can take you on as a client in or whatever, but any of those five that you like, that's already five examples you're getting of good counseling.
Mm-hmm.
You can take those five and decide, well, okay, I want to reach out to Dr. Carolyn for one-on-one. Cool. I want to reach out to Dr. Reese for one-on-one. Cool. Natanya. Cool. That gives you the insight to reaching out to a counselor for what you really need is somebody to help you dig deeper on those icebergs so you can solve those problems and and heal those wounds so you don't continue to mask those things with unhealthy behaviors.
Absolutely. And I think mental health and mental fitness and mental health is so taboo that people don't know they need someone until they start listening to the lives. I've seen that in the comments more than numbers of times where people are like, I didn't know I needed that. I mean, I can say that person, like there was, I would watch certain ones and like, man, like that's me. And I didn't know I was a case,
I was doing a interview with Dr. Reese for her book, one of her books. She's got multiple books. One of her books, she asked me a question. I still go back to the answer to that question. And I don't remember the exact question, but my answer is something I think about all the time. Like, I have probably dealt with things in life that I probably need counseling for, but I've always felt like there is no failing to me is not an option. Like right now, I'll keep it real. Letting E2M fail is not an option for me. I got to figure out something. Letting this program fail, letting this group fail is not an option. And so I've lived my life that way. Like I can't let things fail. And so the trauma that comes with not letting things fail, is something that, or those are the kind of things that bad habits come from. Thankfully, I only have 3 donuts as a part, as a part of my bad habits. But those are the kind of things where for some people, their bad habits are born because they take on really heavy stressors in life, and food is an easy drug.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, man, this is really good. Comments are buzzing. People talking about how much they enjoy the mental fitness and all of that. But I want to switch it up. Want to provide a solution. We do a lot of conversations, and I found a topic that's really hot right now, and it actually correlates with so I made a post a couple of days ago, and a lady mentioned that she was plateaued. She was like, I'm excited about you and your, but I've been plateaued at this state for whatever. So let's talk about plateau, man. Like, what is it and how do you break it? Because to me, I think it's an abused word. I mean, that's just me being me. But you're a little bit more softer than I am. You
Soft. No, I'm gonna give it to you raw.
So let's talk about it, man.
Yeah, plateau is interesting. And I may come at it from a different angle than most people come at it. A plateau is only a plateau when you don't have goals you're constantly shooting for. Yep. If you're just going through the motions, it's easy to plateau. And so if that doesn't apply to you, don't take offense. But if you don't have goals, if you're just going through the motions, it's easy to plateau. You can say, well, I've been doing, for instance, when I was in the military, we had the old school PT test. So now they have new stuff, but you have to do a certain number of push-ups to max your push-up score, a certain number of sit-ups to max your sit-up score, and a certain time on the run to max your run to get a total score, right? And so if I just looked at the maximum amount of push-ups I had to do for my age, that's all I did, because that would be the standard.
Yeah.
If let's say round number 80 push-ups was my max for my age, right? So if I did 80 push-ups, I would get 100 points. If all I did was 80 push-ups, because that's what I had to do to max it out, I would only get as good as 80 push-ups.
Yep.
I would never get better. And so once I got to the point to where I was doing 80 push-ups easily, that will be considered a plateau because I'm only doing 80 push-ups. I'm not getting any better.
Yep.
I'm not getting any worse.
Mm-hmm.
But to get better, I would have to set a new goal. I want to get 100 push-ups. I want to get 120 push-ups. But why, Jeff? The 100 points is 80.
Mm-hmm.
You have to always be challenging yourself to get better. And if you always do that, it's difficult to plateau. Now, it's a difference between a plateau and reaching the maximum potential naturally for your body.
Mm-hmm.
If you have gotten to the optimal level of fitness you're going to reach for your body, per se, weight loss, you're only going to lose so much weight before you get to an unhealthy point. So you can't say, I want to keep losing more weight.
Mm-hmm.
There's a weight that your body is going to want to stay at. That is the weight your body feels best at. And if you try to go lower than that, your body is going to push back on you because that's where your body feels best at. If you look at fitness competitors, and I'm sitting here with one right here, nobody, I want you to look at all of them. Nobody, even the enhanced ones, people who are not all natural, and no shade, but even the enhanced people, they don't stay that lean year round.
Nope.
It's fact. You can go look at the top people, look at all of them. They do not stay that lean year round. So they can get that lean if they push that as a goal, but their body doesn't want to stay there. So they won't stay there. So they'll pick back up some weight so their body gets to what can be considered a plateau, but that's where their body is comfortable with. So now then what do? They look at other ways in fitness that they can improve.
Yep.
For me, there's so many aspects of fitness that I am not the greatest in. I was really good at running long distance because I did it for 21 years in the military, and I did it in college too. But running wasn't an issue for me. I ran all the time. I wanted to max my PT test out. I wanted to be a leader that led from the front. I didn't want my soldiers to run past me and look at me as a leader and say, this is my commander at the back. No. I'm in the front, baby. I'm leading the way. Follow me. And so once I got out of the military, I don't care who walked by me, who passed. I'm gonna cheer you on from the back. And so for me, and I always tell y'all this, I stopped using it, so I started to lose it. And so for me, I may only ever be able to bench press 120-pound dumbbells before my body says naturally, hey brother, that's all you gonna bench, brother. You ain't benching no 150s. You ain't benching no 150, 120s is all you gonna do. My body has said that. If you go above that, you're gonna injure yourself. If you go above 120, I'm gonna snap a ligament, I'm gonna pull a muscle, I'm gonna fix you. So I have reached my plateau in the size of dumbbells I can use. But I picked a different area of fitness, running. And there's so much work I can do there. So if you plateau per se in one area, look for another area because there's so many areas of fitness. If I get to a point to where I'm running crazy times, your boy is a weak swimmer. Weak. If I can't see where the walls are at, it's a wrap. I can swim, but I ain't taking no chances.
Right.
So now I can work on my swimming. If I work on swimming, I become Michael Phelps. Now I can go work on biking. There's so many ways you can focus on different aspects of fitness if one area plateaus.
Yeah. No.
And that helps you, not to prolong this answer.
You good.
But that helps you because a lot of people, when they can't do something that they love, they throw in the towel. If you're a runner, and let's say you get shin splints and you can't run because you got pain, you got to rest. Shin splints comes from overuse and you got to rest. And you're like, oh, I can't run. Woe is me. The world's going to poo-poo because I can't run. Well, you can row. Get you a rower. Start rowing. Okay, well, you can do they have those ski machines where you can do skiing, the skiing type. There's so many aspects of fitness out there. And if you only pigeonhole yourself to one thing, if that one thing is taken away from you, you're going to go back to unhealthy lifestyle.
Yeah, no, that's really good, man. One thing that I always think about when, people talk about plateau, as long as you have access to more, like if you got 3-pound dumbbells doing the circuit and your body's not changing, then why don't you go to 5-pound? If you got 5-pound, why don't you go ahead. Sparked it. Look at it.
Hey, man, listen. Y'all know I'll be real because I don't want to hold this too long. I'm going to be really real.
Real, son.
So you had these jokes about how much percentage people are.
Mm.
I'm a 75% guy. I ain't a 50.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't a 25. I'm a 75% guy.
Mm-hmm.
What do I mean by that? I'm healthy 75% of the time. That 75% of the time allows me to have a healthy heart,
mm-hmm.
be fit, be able to wear clothes that I want to wear, all that. But sometimes my goals to not be plateaued requires 100%.
Mm.
But I'm a 75% guy.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to know what percentage you are towards your efforts.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say that I want a goal that requires 100%, but you're giving 75% and you're saying I'm plateauing. Are you truly giving 100% and plateauing?
Mm.
If you're truly giving 100% and plateauing, there could be some small tweaks you can make. Increase your weights, get more sleep. A lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
Increase your weights, get more sleep. Look at the foods you're eating to find out if there's foods that will optimize your results better versus what you're currently eating. Foods do different things. All healthy foods aren't created equal. There's some healthy foods that'll give you more energy, some healthy foods that process better in your body. Everybody's different. And so again, there's small tweaks if you are giving 100% that could totally change everything. For instance, bodybuilders that get 2 more hours of sleep recover a lot more than people that get 2 hours less.
Mm-hmm.
That 2 extra hours of sleep radically changes a bodybuilder's body. It's facts. So, I mean, that's just what it is, man.
No, that's solid.
Yeah.
That's solid. We could keep going now. That's
it's all good, man.
But no, man, we're gonna get ready to wrap this up. Again, those in the comments, those folks that are watching on the public Facebook page, share this video, man. If you thought it was helpful and you think somebody can benefit from it, it's a way to share the program, let people know. Like Boss said, we always try to keep this thing going, and we do that because with you guys' help, man. So, all right, man. Anything in closing?
Yes, I have a tip, and if I'm wrong, I have so many licensed counselors in here and therapists and psychiatrists in here. So if I'm wrong, y'all tell me wrong. But I'm a businessman, so if y'all ain't doing this, I recommend you do this. If you are not sure about a counselor, if you're like, that's a big investment for me, because one-on-one counseling is not cheap, guys. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it's gonna be cheap. If you get a good counselor, it's going to cost you some money. But what is it worth? What is it worth to have that mental strength to get over some of those things that are holding you back in life? To me, it's priceless. But I know priceless ain't a real thing because it costs money. So if you are interviewing counselors, ask them, would you be willing to give me a 15-minute session to kind of see if we're a good fit? I don't know if they do that. If it was me and I want to get more clients and I need more clients, I'd be happy to give you a 15-minute, test run to see if we're a good match for client-counselor relationships. But I ain't no counselor, so I can't tell you that's true or not. But I feel like if you're nervous about making the expense of paying, try to interview counselors to make sure it's the right fit for you so you don't waste your money. But you can't go into a counseling session trying to hold back from the counselor and expecting for them to help you. You can't walk in saying, I ain't gonna tell them about that. It's the same way when I ask y'all for a food log and you leave them Oreos off. And you tell me I'm telling you
everything.
Right now, I'm doing everything. But them Oreos though. You got to put everything out there. If you want to get the good help, you want to let that counselor do his or her job, you got to tell them everything so that they can help you get through those roadblocks and uncover those icebergs and really help you solve those things that are causing you so much struggle in life that you end up having healthy behaviors attached to. Shout outs to all the mental health professionals out there. It's a job that is tough, man, because they spend all day trying to help folks with getting over problems, and they got to download all that and go home and be present for their families. So the same way I give props to all the healthcare professionals out there that take care of sick folks and have to go home to their families and put a smile on their faces. I say the same thing about all our mental health care workers.
Love it, man. All right, y'all. We are out of here. Again, make sure you share. If you don't follow us on YouTube, go like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And be on the lookout this Thursday. The new Your Natural Best podcast episode drops. So make sure you check that out. And till next time, we out of here.
Peace.